You probably know the drill for real-time strategy games by now. Build a base, gather resources, build units, level the enemy. Now this is a formula that's been fun and familiar for years, but every once in a while you need something a little different. With Dawn of War 2, developer Relic decided to revisit the fundamentals of the RTS and take some bold steps towards introducing new ideas to the fold. The results are impressive across campaign and skirmish modes. The first thing you'll notice is that Relic has ditched base building. For the campaign, you're given a finite number of persistent squads. They have names and storylines and can gain experience and level up. You can also enhance the individual attributes of these individual units in a Mass Effect kind of way. So for instance, you can build up your range damage to gain access to a new special ability, like a one-hit sniper shot kill with your scout squad. It's a strong system that's well balanced, so you can't max out all your skills and you'll have to specialize to make the most out of your units. Also added to the mix are loot drops. Yeah, like in Diablo. You can equip gear you score during fights, so people who live for loot drops will be as happy and obsessive as ever with this. Just check out my Terminator armor, or this blue Thunder Hammer and Storm Shield combo. These drops add an extra layer of customization, and since you can't crank out an infinite number of units, you feel more attached to your squads. This really changes the flow of the experience, and what you get in the end is a game that almost feels like a cross between a traditional RTS and an action RPG. And that's a great thing because it feels really refreshing, with a lot of emphasis put on tactics in the field. A lot like Company of Heroes, you'll have to use cover and blow up enemy cover to advance on their positions. You'll have to devote special attention to your hero units and how they develop. You'll have to switch up squads based on how you equip items, which can change factors like teleporting, throwing grenades, or using the devastating orbital laser. There's a lot of depth here, and I really enjoyed spending the extra time to power up my units to be ridiculously strong. This is especially true because the crazy, over-the-top gore is still intact from the original Dawn of War. The campaign missions also require some thought, because there isn't a strictly linear progression. There are 3 planets that you jump back and forth between, and if you should fail, things just keep on moving forward. Sometimes you can retry the missions, but sometimes you're locked out. Some of the side missions can get a little repetitive, but the story missions deliver the large-scale feeling that a massive space war should have, especially between factions as crazy as this. Unfortunately, the story and the voice work is pretty weak. The Warhammer 40k nuts probably get a kick out of the characters, but for someone starting out, it likely won't capture your attention. Thankfully, multiplayer is set up really well. Unlike the campaign where you play just as the Space Marines, you can also play as the Tyranids, the Eldar, and the Orcs here. Skirmish games center on capturing power nodes and requisition nodes for resources for unit production. The game also offers Company of Heroes style victory point gameplay, where holding a majority of the victory points results in your opponent's point total slowly depleting until it reaches 0. The action is fast-paced, and considering the smaller map sizes, smaller unit counts, and the fact that the maps are pretty open means the fighting occurs all over without getting bogged down. While there's some limited construction here and there, there's no real base building, giving the game a unique, more accessible, and entertaining flavor. It's great to see a game that moves away from the standard, established formula, and does so with the kind of success that Relic has achieved here. While it's a different kind of game that may take some getting used to, Relic's take on tactical combat and streamlined RTS design is absolutely worth checking out. For the full written review, head over to IGN.com.
We stand victorious in the Emperor's shadow.